So here I'm doing mostly wire management, using some Velcro hook to secure the extra cable from the outside antenna to the ceiling of the van. This will be inside a storage compartment on the side of my main storage. I'm using Velcro hook, which sticks very well to the indoor-outdoor carpet, as well as cable ties to control this and get it up out of the way of stuff that will be stored in that compartment. There's my main plus and a piece of carpet that covers that. Now I'm moving to another bus. This is where I'm wiring in the power for the booster. Here I'm checking to see if I've got power to the distribution block, and I do. After a couple tries, I get it turned off. Now I'm swapping the distribution block for a larger one. I didn't have any empty slots for the power cables for the booster, so one by one I swapped the wires from the old distribution block to the new larger one. There I fast forwarded to the last couple of connections. Here I removed the old distribution block and wire in the last wire, and then the distribution block is attached to the indoor-outdoor carpet using Velcro hook. Now a little more cable management, securing the power cable to some wires that are down in the gutter, and getting everything out of the way so nothing gets hung up. Attaching wires together with cable ties. Covering everything up. And now I've put the partition back in. I test to make sure that I've got power to the strip light. And here's the bulkhead going back in. Here's my finished installation. The booster is attached to the bulkhead on the end of my overhead storage. I didn't like the hardwire power cable just dangling, so I made a storage unit for the connector. And I'm plugging the connector into the booster now. And there's the green light, so that's powered up. And as I experimented with in my bench test, I've got my power bank here. This is the PowerAd power bank. And I made a leather storage unit to hold it. I'm plugging the power cord in, and the gauge just lit up. That'll allow me to monitor the state of charge on the power bank. And if I plug the cable into the Wii Boost, there's the green light. So that's going to work quite nicely. I can remove the power bank from my leather storage unit, and I made sure that the leather storage unit is adaptable to the other two power banks that I have that have USB-C outputs. I also got a USB-C to barrel connector cable that I can use to either run the Wii Boost from one of the other two power banks, or hopefully I can use it to charge this power bank from one of the other two power banks. Alternatively, hopefully it'll work to charge this power bank from my 40-watt folding solar panel that has a built-in charge controller with a variety of USB outputs. And then over here I have my inside antenna. The wiring runs underneath the counter, and this is it right here next to the charge controller for my ground deploy solar system. And then it runs under my wooden rail here. Before connecting to the booster. Overall, it's a pretty neat, flexible installation. I left plenty of room to move the inside antenna if I choose to, but I think where I've got it is going to work fine. It's just floating on the countertop, but there's a very short leash. The wire comes up through the counter there, and it's secured to the wall underneath the counter, so there's not a lot of room to move it, but I've got plenty coiled up underneath the countertop. If I want to put it someplace else, I can. I think, at least to try the system out in the field, this is going to be a good arrangement. The installation is pretty clean, and it doesn't take up space that was being used for anything else. So overall, I'm quite happy with it. I did test the unit here in the driveway, and it definitely made a big difference in the strength of the signal. Of course, we've got a reasonably good signal here, so it's not as good a test as being out in the field at some remote campsite. But I've confirmed that it definitely does work. So with that, the installation is done. I did make a couple of modifications to the outside part of the job. I added a 1/2-inch wedge between the mounting plate on the ratcheting base of the outside antenna and the wall of the van to make the antenna more vertical. It was leaning quite a bit towards the center line of the van. The wedge made a big improvement on the installation, although the antenna still leans a bit. I also padded out the cradle I made for the side of the van to support the mast in the down position. I added 2 1/8-inch thicknesses of cork for a total of a 1/4 inch. Without padding it out, the bulbous part of the antenna was resting directly against the side of the van, and I was afraid road vibration would wear the paint. Now there's a nice gap. Well, that's the completed installation. I'll be interested to see how it works in the field. So thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying this, if you're getting any value out of it, I would really appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time.